Hi y'all, so my name is Miss Mac. I am a multi-nurse, and this video is just a short how I became a nurse. Right now I am an LPN in Texas. I've been thinking about making a YouTube channel for the last 2 years now, and I never really, pursued it, but I am in the middle of my LPN to RN journey. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a YouTube channel because someone out there is probably gonna like it and be inspired. So I'm just gonna go over a bit of my background and give you some bits about me. So let's get into it. Also, if you see little swirlies of smoke, it's my incense. Sorry, I gotta have the aromatherapy candles vibe because I am in my office and I just got done studying. So let's get to talking. So it is 2017. I meet my amazing then boyfriend, now husband. And I tell him, yeah, I've been going to school on and off for years because I was paying out of pocket for most of everything because I grew up very, very poor in the South. And it's hard to go to school when you're very stubborn like me and don't want a whole bunch of student loans. So he inspires me to just get out of my head and take a chance and actually go to a local community college versus going to a university. That is how I knew I was going to marry this man. So I go to my local community college and I tell them, I want to be a nurse. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a nurse. I've always wanted to be a nurse since I was a little girl. And the advisor that I had was super sweet and super helpful. And she actually got me on the path to being a nurse. So I started taking all these classes and I finished all the prereqs. I get everything I needed done. And unfortunately, things don't go as planned because I was working a horrible job that I did not like at that time. Well, it wasn't horrible. My coworkers were horrible, but I did not like the atmosphere. It was too much. I was driving 45 minutes to get there and it was just too much for me. So I ended up quitting that job and I needed another job. Well, at this time, I didn't have any skill sets or anything like that. So I told my advisor and she was like, hey, you really might want to do the EMT program. And I was like, oh, okay, I've never really thought about being an EMT. I really want to be a nurse. And she explained to me what an EMT is. An EMT is basically a basic that is on an ambulance and you help the paramedic take care of the patient. Super simple, right? Wrong. It is not that simple. So I signed up for this EMT class. I loved it from the moment I walked in. From the days we talked about multi-system traumas to the days where we just talked about just in general sick person calls. I loved it. And if you hear a lot of noise, it's my husband. He just woke up and it is meal prep day. So he's probably in there doing stuff with meal prep. But enough of that. So I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I finished the class. I finished it with an A. Finished the class with an A, went and took my national boards, which you have to take a national board for that as well. Passed it on the first try, and this is now 2019. 2019, I graduated in December. I passed the test on the first try in January of 2019, and then by February of 2019, I had a job. It is still a job that I keep to this day. I still have my active EMT. Because I'm not getting rid of that. I worked hard for it and I've learned a lot and it's taken me places I've never imagined. So, okay, so I'm an EMT now. I'm an EMT and boom, bam, boom. 2020 comes around, 2021 comes around, and guess what? The penny was here and she was not nice at all. During that time, I was at the lowest moments because we were losing patients left and right. It was very hard. We had limited PPE, things of that nature, and I experienced burnout. And honestly, I had gotten complacent with just being an EMT, basic. I didn't want to advance. I just got really complacent. Well, one day I was going through some papers or whatever, throwing stuff away, and I found my diary from 2017, and I was reading through it, and I had wrote an affirmation out that says, I will be a great nurse. And I read that in that diary and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Excuse my language, but I was just like, what am I doing? I'm forgetting my purpose. Like, I'm forgetting why I even started this journey into getting into healthcare. So immediately I started planning again with my advisor to get me into an LPN or RN program. I settled for an LPN program, and when I mean settled, I don't mean that disrespectfully or anything. I love being an LPN, but at the school that I went to, it was so hard to get into the RN program. It was no joke. So I was looking for an LPN program, and where I live, it's like a weird place in Texas. It's super weird where I live, okay? Like the weirdest place you ever live, honestly. And there's only a few schools here that even offer nursing programs. And then other than that, you have to go all the way to Houston, which I could not afford that time. So I applied for 2 different schools. Both of those schools were great, in my opinion. One school was my local community college. I applied for that LPN program. And then I got into the trap of falling into Vista College. If you know about Vista College, you know. If you don't know, thank Brightwood. That's the kind of situation Vista College was. But needless to say, I submitted my paperwork for both. I got accepted into both. But I got accepted into Vista College earlier than I would my local community college. And at the time, I really wanted to be in an LPN program. Not out of desperation, but out of, I had goals. I had goals. So I was like, I'm going to go for it. I want my LPN. I want to be a nurse. I want to keep writing, I will be a great nurse in my diary. So boom, I started going to Vista College. It is 2020 now. It is May of 2020. And I'm in Vista College. And until August 13th of 2022, no, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. No, 2021. I'm sorry. I did that totally wrong. Sorry. It's my first time making a video. Please bear with me. So August 13th of 2021, I graduated. It was not easy. I had multiple breakdowns because still I'm working as an EMT basic on a truck in the middle of a panty. And again, I'm losing patients left and right. It's crazy. I'm wearing these crazy N95s. I'm having, mass acne. I'm having severe depression. I'm having to hold people's hands and tell them that everything is going to be okay. And, we're going to get through this together. And of course, I've lost coworkers to suicide attempts. And so that was like a lot to take in, doing that full time and going to school full time. And, when you say going to school full time, it's not like, oh, you got to put in 40 hours at school and 40 hours or no. It was more like I put in 40 hours at work and then I was done. And then for school, I put in about probably 60, 70, maybe 80 because I studied all the time. It was crazy. So it's, August 13th of 2021, I finished. It's time to prep for NCLEX because just because you finish nursing school does not mean you're done. So it's time to prep for NCLEX. I'm prepping for NCLEX and I surprisingly got my ATT back very quickly. So I was just like, I'm not waiting. I'm taking the exam. And literally my then nursing friends at the time were like, oh, you're crazy. Well, some of them were like, oh, you're crazy. Some of them were like, oh yeah, we're gonna take it. So actually me and my nursing friend Leah, we ended up taking the exam 2 weeks after we graduated. Woo, talk about a nerves wreck because we took it on a Friday. I don't know why we thought it was smart to take it on a Friday and then go home and suffer all weekend, but we did. So it's so funny because the whole way home, I'm driving. The whole way home, I'm having her on her phone, putting in her information to do the Pearson VUE trick, and we kept giving the good pop-up, and I was like, oh my God, we just passed NCLEX. Like, it was a whole thing. So, woohoo, we passed NCLEX, and I start looking for jobs. Now, I told you I live in a weird area. I was also working in a weird area. So I attempted a nursing home, did not like it. So I moved on and I continued working as an EMT while I tried to figure out where the heck I wanted to work in as a LPN. So I'm going along. I'm filling out all these applications. I'm going to interviews or not getting callbacks. And finally, my DON of my school reached out to me and she said, hey, you know, I heard that you hadn't found a job or somewhere you wanted to be. Do you need some help? And I was like, I would love a good lead if you have any. This is why I'm a big person of network. Networking will save you so many times. So she reached out to someone she knew was a DON, and they actually got me a job in a jail, in the county jail. So here I am, fresh out of school, starting at the county jail. I meet the most supportive nurses I've ever met. And that is how I started my journey in October of 2021, becoming a correction nurse. And that's currently what I still do to this day. It's a love-hate job. Like that's it. That's a love-hate job. I'll do a tidbit on that later. It's a love-hate job. But that is what I currently do now. I am an LPN in the correction setting. I am also still working as an EMT. Yes, I'm still working as an EMT. Overall, working as an EMT, it is more of it's a sense of community because our area is like super unique and stuff. And it's just weird. And people will recognize me and they'll walk up to talking to me and say, thank you for your service. And, you know, it just feels good to help my community in that aspect. And of course, I help the community behind the wall in the prison aspect as well. So let's see. Did we recap everything? 2017, I meet my amazing husband. Yes. 2019, 2018, I'm in EMT classes because I wanted to get into healthcare. Get into healthcare in 2019. 2020, I enrolled at Vista College. 2021, I graduated Vista College. Shout out to being the last surviving class of Vista College because it does not exist anymore. And now I'm on a new journey. I have, ever since 2022, I want to say fall of 2022, if that's correct. I'll have to go over my documentation because I didn't make notes for this. But ever since the fall of 2022, I have been on a journey with my LPN to RN through Excelsior University or Excelsior College. And so far, it is going great. And I will try to do some updates here and there on it. And I will try to do some other updates if you're interested. Honestly, I made this video to say, like, you don't have to go the traditional way. You can go the long way around and still get to where you want to be because I've been a nurse for 2 years and I'm living the life I've dreamed of. It has changed my entire life. It's changed my entire perspective on the world. And I know that there's more to come. So if you needed a sign to research more on LPN programs in your area or nursing programs in general in your area, this is your sign. Be bold, be adventurous, and do what's best for you. Keep pursuing that goal. Do not give up, okay? Because it is possible. It really is. I'm living proof of it, and I just want you to know that I'm rooting for you, okay? So let's be friends now. Join the channel, like the video, and I will be posting an update on my LPN to RN journey. So yeah, thank y'all.